Hi everyone, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. I thought I would share with you some troll bead bracelet designs that I put together and have enjoyed during the month of September. I'm just going to get right into it, so hopefully this video won't be too terribly long. So the first bracelet that I want to share with you is this beauty right here. And I put this together with this particular bead right here being the inspiration. This is the Flower Dawn bead from the new collection. I drew inspiration from the colors. To me, it has very soft, muted greens, and then it does have like a hint of blue or purple in the flowers. So kind of drew my inspiration just from the colors. So I'm going to start with the clasp. And this is a very old, retired clasp, and it is Troll Tree. And I was kind of going for a little bit of a magical feel, magical like woodland forest feel. And so what is more magical than a troll tree? So that was the inspiration behind using this particular clasp. And then this is a long retired spacer called Capsule of Life. And I kind of tied in the Capsule of Life with the shelter bead that is on the very end here. Like I feel they're very similar as far as like the striping goes, and even kind of a bit of a similar shape, with the seed pods and things. So that's kind of why I have these two on the end. But you are looking at the Capsule of Life spacer, and then kind of drawing in that bluish purple. I broke out the Mushrooms of Flexibility from the new Walk the Journey Autumn collection. So again, always can find magical mushrooms in the forest. And then I have a luminous connector. And then beside it is Untroubled, and this is probably one of my favorite faceted green beads from Troll Beads. Like this is just such a wearable green color, and I think it pairs just beautifully with the Flower Dawn bead. But this here is Untroubled and it has a lot of beautiful glitter throughout, along with that beautiful faceting. And then the star of the show is Thumbelina, and she is an older troll bead, long retired, but probably one of the more magical troll beads in my collection, in my opinion. And you see Thumbelina's face, and she is just surrounded by flowers and leaves. So very happy that I have her in my collection. And then we have Flower Dawn, which was the inspiration piece behind this entire bracelet. And then I broke out my Pearls of Patience, which released this past spring. And I just love the flowers and the gray pearls on it. So, and I like the thin profile, like between a glass bead and a stone. So that is Pearls of Patience. And then I did reach for one of my Labradorites, and this one just has a beautiful blue flash that you can see right there. Because again, you know, magical forest theme. So I just imagine the flash in the labradorite is maybe a flash, you know, that is being emitted from maybe a fairy, you know, kind of flitting about. And then here we have the Framed by Nature silver bead. And this is one of those silver beads that's designed to hug like one of those little round faceted stones. So inside of my Frame by Nature, you are looking at one of the round green calcite facet stones that came out spring of 2023, I believe. And again, like I love this wearable green. It's echoed in Flower Dawn and Untroubled over here. So I just think it's all, you know, a nice tonal match. And then we have Sun and Soil. And again, this is kind of bringing out the like bluish purple gray in the Flower Dawn bead. It's got all that beautiful coppery glitter, kind of stripes of glitter in this one. And then we have a Raccoon Armadillo Unique. I figure there's always got to be a raccoon or two in a magical forest. And then this bead, or this bracelet, finishes off with the shelter bead. So that was a design that I very much enjoyed putting together and wearing. Another design, this is just on a bangle. So this is on my silver twisted bangle. And this just has a plain pair of silver spacers, just kind of holding everything together. And starting over here, we have the Merriness silver. Like this came out maybe in 2022 with the autumn collection. And, you know, I love nature themes and I love it when there's always like a little face kind of peeking through somehow. And so Merriness was one of those silver beads that I just had to get. You can see the little figure is surrounded and encased by different types of leaves. I think these are supposed to represent maybe grape, like a grapevine maybe. Just very special. And then we have the Lasting Life faceted bead from the Walk the Journey collection. And this is one of those opaque beads in the one faceted kit. And I'll put the name of the kit down here. I'm forgetting it now, but this is Lasting Life. And then this is an oldie but a goodie. This is Wise Owl. And he is just such a beautiful bead. And if you ever look at the catalog images of this bead, just shows Wise Owl from the front. They never show him from the back, and from the back you can see there is an acorn and some leaves there. So very nice detail. I love it when a bead is interesting on all sides. So this is Wise Owl. And then we have Mushrooms of Vitality. These are the pink mushrooms that came out with the Walk the Journey collection. And I'm forgetting the name of this kit as well, so I'll be sure to put it down here somewhere. Between the Mushrooms of Vitality and my Snowflake Obsidian, which is right here, there is a little Spring Leaves silver. And this is just a very, I'm gonna move the spacer here so you can see it, but it's just a very simple little silver bead, 2 leaves back to back, and they just, when everything's all kind of snug together, they just kind of separate the glass and stone so that there's just a little added something between the two. You know, it just enhances the design. So this is my bangle design that I had put together. Let's see. Another design that I put together that I really enjoyed putting together was this simple foxtail design right here. And the entire inspiration on this particular design is this bead right here. This is the Lifetime of Joy glass bead from the faceted kit from the Walk the Journey collection. And when I was looking at it, it made me think of clothing that maybe a scarecrow would wear, like maybe a shirt or overalls that have, patches of fabric. And that's kind of what this reminded me of, because there's just these patches of color. You can see there's oranges and blues and taupes and orange and kind of a tan color, pinks. Like, it is just so pretty. And then it has those burgundy leaves. So that's kind of where the inspiration for this came from. It reminded me of a scarecrow. And then I pulled the colors, some of the colors for some of my other coordinating beads. So very simple design. The clasp on this one is actually from a starter bracelet. It was from the Time to Fly starter bracelet that I can't remember if it released in autumn or spring. It was a couple of years ago, but it had a beautiful glass bead that looked very reminiscent of bird feathers. It had a little silver that was a little bird that also had a leaf kind of on the back side of that silver bead. And then it had this clasp. And this is the only starter bracelet that I'm aware of where they actually named the individual components. So this particular clasp is called Safe Space. And it was, again, from the Time to Fly starter bracelet. And this just has a bunch of leaves on it, along with like some little buds, like a bud detail. So maybe that bud detail is to represent berries that birds enjoy, or maybe dewdrops. But I felt this was very apt for the season, so I kind of pulled it out. And then we have my ruby that I feel kind of draws out the color of the leaves on the Lifetime of Joy bead. So I used a ruby, and then beside it, I'm gonna just open this up just a wee bit. Beside it, we have the Acorn Dreams silver, and this came out in autumn 2023 with the Love of Paws release. And this was one of the silvers that I felt was very autumnal, very appropriate. It has just 3 little acorns all joined together, forming the opening of the bead. And again, it's one of those nice little silvers that you can put between 2 glass beads or a glass bead and a stone to kind of just add a little extra something and allow separation between those 2 beads. Again, here we have the star of the show and the inspiration behind the entire bracelet. We have Lifetime of Joy. And then I did bring out my scarecrow bead. He works beautifully on a bangle or a foxtail, but he is actually meant to be on a fantasy necklace. Like, he actually works as a splitter because you have an opening that goes up through his body, comes out through the hat, and then of course you have the opening within the two arms. So he can be used as a splitter on a fantasy necklace. So very happy that I have this design, this particular bead, because I believe he is long retired. One of the other colors that I pulled out from this bead is from right here. And this was with the faceted kit from the Walk the Journey collection from this year. This is the Golden Trace, and it is just such a bright accent on this particular design. Like, I really love and enjoy how this particular design turned out. And then here we have a long retired silver. This is little acorns, and all you have is an oak leaf and then just a simple little acorn right here. And then just kind of holding everything together on the foxtail is a gold spacer. So I thought that worked very well together. And then the last design I'm going to show with you was a design that I put together to go see the Beetlejuice movie when I went to go see it with my son and his girlfriend. And the entire inspiration behind this bracelet, of course, are these fabulous uniques. There's a total of 4 uniques on this bracelet. And then, of course, you know, just kind of thinking of Beetlejuice, the character in the movie, just kind of how eerie he is, kind of made me bring out some of my Halloween silvers. So let me share the whole bracelet with you. So holding everything together, like the clasp that I chose is a long retired clasp. This is the Spooky Bat Lock. Gosh, I want to say this came out around 2014, maybe earlier than that. Was very fortunate to acquire one of these a few years back. One of my favorite clasps, and I love Halloween, so he's going to get a lot of use this season. I have the design, of course, on a foxtail, and I have an oxidized spacer. Then I have a round amethyst stone. Kind of went with purple and green, which is one of my favorite combinations. One of those fabulous uniques that I recently acquired. This silver here is a long retired silver. This is my Paradox silver, and I believe this is supposed to be like a deadhead moth, you know, because of course you've got like a butterfly body, but then you've got a skull right dead center. And then of course on the back of this particular silver, you have a heart. But this little silver is called Paradox. And then this is a long retired glass bead. This is called Green Shade. And then another fabulous unique, like the color inspiration is coming from these 2 central uniques here. Like this one has both purple and green. This one is predominantly little spots of green on it. The inspiration behind the color story of green and purple together is coming from these 2 uniques right here. So this is a unique that I recently acquired. All of these were purchased with South Hills Village. And here we have the fabulous skeleton spirit. And this skeleton is kind of sitting crisscross applesauce, and he's got his arms crossed, on top of his knees. And there is just so much fabulous detail in this particular silver. Of course, you can see the details on his face, but where this bead really just dazzles is looking at the skeleton spirit from the back side. Like, you can see all the vertebrae in his spine, his rib cage. Like, even looking from the side here, you can see the finger detail on his hands. Like, it is just a masterfully done silver bead. Probably one of my favorites to pull out during spooky season. Again, another one of those fabulous unique that I acquired from South Hill Village. This is a faceted bead that came out with this year's spring collection. This is Basket of Hope, and I thought the green and black kind of tied in nicely with the green and black on green shade. And then this bead here is called the Bead of Fortune. And this is one bead, but it is two separate pieces. And the idea behind this bead with the Bead of Fortune is that, it can move around, and perhaps this green clover means you're going to have good fortune, or when it rests on the heart, maybe you're going to be lucky in love. When it comes here, this is where like the hand, like the skull is kind of being held up by one hand. So, maybe it's a decision that you need to make, and again, as it circles around. But it's a very interesting bead. And again, very lucky to have this one. I believe he is also long retired. Here we have another one of those fabulous uniques, and like this unique right here and this one, they are like sister uniques. They pretty much exactly match one another. So that was 4 fun little uniques that I purchased and very happy to have. And then rounding everything up is another round amethyst. So that is some of the designs that I put together and enjoyed in the month of September. Let me know which bracelet design is your favorite. I hope all of you are doing well. Take care, stay safe, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.